Part 2. Let me finish up the story. Last part of the story I was telling you, I went to Venice Beach. And I said I never left. Well, I went down to Venice Beach because basically, conscious community being kind of dead, first thing I did is I went back into Hollywood. Went back into Hollywood, started doing extra work, started working on movies and everything. Basically got blacklisted. I was just too conscious then. There was just some serious coon mess going on that I just couldn't get with. That before I was young and I was hungry, I used to just do it. But after being conscious, being around our scholars and sitting at their feet and really being around, brothers and sisters who walked with our ancestors with them, after reading and studying and having 30 to 45 notebooks full of notes I had taken from all the lectures, after being in the conscious community around real black men, masculine, strong brothers, then to go back into Hollywood, that just didn't work. I got blacklisted within the first month I was there. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just start selling my clothing line again and everything. But like I said, that's when the conscious community became dormant. That's when consciousness, after 2000, after the gathering of the masters seemed to be like the peak, like it was for us like 68, 69 was for the civil rights generation. When everybody started getting killed, that's basically what happened in the year around 2000, around 9/11 or shortly after 9/11, with the first wave of the conscious community. It seemed like, after Dr. Khaled died and everybody was splitting up, and we went through a rough period right there. So conscious shirts weren't selling. So like I said, I went down to Venice Beach one day. I was like, oh, let me just walk around for a second. It was right after I got blacklisted, literally, in Hollywood. And I was like, what am I going to do? Walked down there, saw some cats. They was like, yo, you need to come down to Venice and set up and do your thing. Went down to Venice. I said, okay, I'm going to try it. Went and got some spray paint and said, okay, I can't really afford to print on those shirts no more, so I'm going to start spray painting on them. Started spray painting on shirts right there. Started doing all the conscious stuff, other stuff. Creativity was just growing. That's where the name Fly Dye came from. After doing that, then, slowly but surely, Venice Beach started changing, and they started passing these ordinances. They passed an ordinance that said we could no longer sell clothes, that you could only sell canvas on Venice. So guess what I had to do? I switched to canvas. Boy, when I switched to canvas, that's when I blew up. That's when I really blew up, is when I switched to canvas. And also because I had people from all over the world who would see me with KRS-One or heard me freestyle, and they were coming there and they were like, yo, you need to freestyle, you need to do this. I eventually had to buy me a big speaker drum machine, whole PA that worked outside, and I started freestyling and rhyming while I was painting. Blew up. MTV, VH1, everybody with cameras, all kinds of documentaries on me, everything. And that's when a brother by the name of Adriz from Lamert Park, friend of mine, African brother, he's like, man, you're like the ghetto Van Gogh. You are the ghetto Van Gogh. Coming from an elder, coming from an African brother with the African spirit, he named me the ghetto Van Gogh. I ran with that name. After that, I ended up traveling to Australia. I heard KRS-One was doing an Australian tour. I had never been, and everybody wanted me to come to Australia. I'd met so many Australians. So I just up and went. I was making damn near $1,000 a day on a weekday at Venice. I was killing it. I was selling thousands of paintings a month. Literally, I was killing it. Whatever you say Basquiat and sold, I done that by 10, at least. But, so I went to Australia. Australia, I really got to work on just performing again. But when I got to Australia, Chris, I don't know, maybe he just didn't remember or whatever. He was under this impression that somehow I had dissed him back in the day in the Temple of Hip Hop because I left. I guess Server didn't tell him the truth or whatever, just so Server and the other dude or whoever was doing whatever, the dude Brother Jay or whatever, the white kid, they could try to get me out and try to scheme on getting that merchandise money or whatever. So I don't know what story they told Chris. So I got to Australia, Chris dissed me. But it was okay. He's my teacher. He was my teacher. He taught me a lot about hip-hop, being on tour with him. He's the reason why I can freestyle so well. He's the reason why I can do so many things I can do. Not to mention, I didn't mention, you know, when I was in Atlanta, I used to hang out at the Yin Yang Cafe. Anthony David, my man by the name of King Malachi, a bunch of other brothers and sisters, Jessica Caremore, they're the ones who honed my skills on singing and doing poetry and that part. But KRS-One was definitely the one who made me who I am as far as hip hop culture and the way I'm able to teach through what I do. So I say all that to say, after that, came back to Venice. Yes, I was duped, and I'll admit it. Went on the Obama campaign, worked for the Obama campaign, and then came back to Venice again. Venice was changing, being gentrified. We were losing everything. Shoreline Crips, I guess they ain't into consciousness, heard me one day talking to somebody about Bungie Carter, about constant revolution and progress, and they didn't like it. Plus the place I was set up at that time, you know, it was right under a building owned by those small hats, you know. You can get a lot of this in my book, Life's a Beach and Then You Die. I only got like maybe 30 seconds left. So bring that all the way up to right now. Now I'm in the Bay doing my thing, but now I'm getting ready to transfer back into music and solidify my legacy in art with NFTs and everything else. Every little piece of my story is historical, and I've got a lot to give y'all. But I wanted to finish this story just so you know who I am, for those who have never heard the full story. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. I love y'all. Peace.